Sixers fans, how we feeling out there? Hey y'all, my name is Lauren Gordon. Some of you may already know me on social media as Lauren Fan of the Year. Others may have just stumbled upon this podcast, but either way, I want to first thank all of you for tuning in to Season 3, Episode 6 of my very first podcast. I'm just a Sixers fan, the Lauren Fan of the Year story. Now let's continue the story. Y'all, the time is still February 2022, and I was still recovering from the news of the blockbuster trade Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks to Brooklyn for James Harden and Paul Millsap. We were entering a new era. I thought, when was the last time we had a high-caliber athlete who actually wanted to come to Philly? And more importantly, play for our Philadelphia 76ers. Harden led the league in assists, and he chose us. There was no doubt he would also complement and possibly even improve Joel Embiid's and Tobias Harris's game. I remember thinking, James Harden may actually be the guy who gets us over the hump. Now, I know this pressure is put upon every single athlete who comes to Philly because as fans, we are so desperately hungry for a championship. Now, I know there are a lot of athletes who crumble with that pressure. Case in point, Ben Simmons. But then there are some players who are built for it. And I believed James Harden was built for it. I found a couple photos of James Harden online, and I made one my Facebook profile picture and the other my Facebook cover picture. And I thought about Ben Simmons. I wondered, how was Ben feeling? Was he finally relieved to be out of Philly? Was he sad that things didn't work out? Was he vengeful of how things played out and how he felt he was treated? And was he now motivated to make the Sixers organization pay? Did he now despise us, the fans? I wasn't sure, but I knew the first time Ben Simmons returned to Philly to play his first game as a Brooklyn Nets was going to be must-see basketball. I immediately checked the Sixers schedule to see when we played the Brooklyn Nets. Y'all, it was a month away, March 10th. I circled the date on my Sixers calendar. I could hardly wait. This highly anticipated game was also a topic of conversation, and there was lots of speculation on whether or not Ben would actually play in that game. James Harden would not be available for the first few Sixers games. On February the 11th, we beat OKC 100-87. We had 4 players with double-digit scoring. Joel Embiid had 25, Tyrese Maxey had 24, Tobias Harris had 17 points, and Matisse Thybulle had 10 points and 3 steals. This was a good team, y'all, and I knew we were only going to get better once we added James Harden. Now, this game stood out to me because aside from Embiid's 25 points, which honestly, we pretty much expected no less from Embiid each game, was Tyrese Maxey's 24 points. And I remember Maxey's post-game interview, and when asked about his performance, a young Tyrese Maxey responded, quote, "I have one goal, and that's to win. I'll play center if they ask me to. Just sit Joel the whole game," end quote. I posted the caption, "I love Tyrese like a son." I love Maxey's personality and attitude. He was a team player who was willing to take on any role to help our team win. He just wanted to win. And as a fan, I love players with that drive and passion for the game. I could see that in Tyrese Maxey, and even then, I knew he was special. On February 12th, I posted on social media, 39 more days. Come join me and other Sixers fans as we cheer on Embiid, Harden, Tobias, Maxey, and team in Los Angeles. Use discount code Fan of the Year. Remember, in the last episode, I mentioned the incredible opportunity I was presented with by Vince Rizzuto and Philly Sports Trips to be a Sixers ambassador. I had committed to take the West Coast trip with Vince and Philly Sports Trips to Los Angeles, and now I was trying to generate interest for other Sixers fans to join me. Honestly, y'all, the trip was not cheap. I mean, think about it. It's a West Coast trip to Los Angeles. Everything is expensive in LA. It was understandable that this would be a huge expense for a casual fan, but honestly, if you could swing it, it was an amazing package at a really good cost. I'm talking round-trip, nonstop flight, hotel at a 4-star hotel, ground transportation, Sixers-Lakers tickets, Sixers-Clippers tickets, and a pregame rally party. It was also a great opportunity to travel with other Sixers fans. As I've mentioned many times, my bucket list was to see our Philadelphia 76ers play in every single NBA arena. So this trip was right up my alley. The next morning, I have it noted here as February 13th. While scrolling through social media, I saw a post that read, "The Beard has arrived in Philly. Since he arrived in the league in 2010, he has the most 30-point games, 40-point games, 50-point games, 60-point games out of anyone in the NBA." I saw another post with the question, "Who leads the NBA in assists currently?" Well, y'all, Chris Paul was with the Phoenix Suns, and he was number 1 with 10.6 assists per game. And at number 2 was James Harden, who was right behind him with 10.2 assists per game. Y'all, we got ourselves an elite player, and we got this elite player in exchange for a player who refused to shoot and no longer wanted to be here. I'd say we won that trade. Finally, something worked out in our favor. After everything we've been through as Sixers fans, we deserve this. I sat back and reflected on the past week and took to Facebook with this post. What an amazing birthday week. On top of cards, gifts, dinner dates, I flew to Chicago with swanky accommodations to see my Sixers win and visit my 9th NBA arena. Tyrese Maxey wished me happy birthday. I attended a private VIP Sixers event and was able to bring my family. Then Daryl Morey unloads BS, aka Ben Simmons, and gets James Harden. I'm still screaming. Oh, I am the new Sixers ambassador for Philly Sports Trips, and I'm working on a few little new projects. Y'all, life is good, and I'm grateful for it all. On February 14th, we beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 103-93 at home. Darius Garland on the Cavs scored 27 points, but y'all, the leading scorer for that game was our very own Joel Embiid with, get this, 40 points. Kendrick Perkins from ESPN tweeted out on Twitter, "James Harden watching Joel Embiid drop a 40-piece wing dinner, spicy, grabbing 14 biscuits and dishing out 10 dipping sauces of ranch with the W. Carry the hell on." Y'all, Joel Embiid wasn't just making headlines in Philly. He was the topic of discussion on every sports network nationwide. There was no MVP conversations where Joel Embiid's name was not mentioned. Joel was getting our team lots of exposure, and we were finally getting the attention we deserved. On February 15th, Sixers beat writer Keith Pompey reported point guard James Harden is out through the All-Star break while rehabilitating his left hamstring. In the meantime, he will continue his treatment and on-court training. Additionally, James will not participate in Sunday's NBA All-Star game. Believe it or not, I was completely okay with this. For me, it was more important for Harden to rest than to participate in the All-Star game, put additional wear and tear on his nagging hamstring, and potentially risk further injury. To this day, I still say it's always been about players staying healthy and their physical stamina going into the postseason. Now, of course, it's nice to see our guys get acknowledged, recognized, and rep our team in the NBA All-Star games. I get it. It's a huge honor. But at this point, as a Sixers fan, I just want to see us get to the NBA Finals and have the best chance to win a championship healthy. Since the start of the process, for me, it's championship or bust. So if it meant James Harden had to rehab and rest over the All-Star break, then so be it. On February 15th, we got our asses kicked by the Boston Celtics, 135-87. At that time, I said it was the worst game ever. Embiid was our leading scorer, and he only had 19 points. We were no match for Jaylen Brown, who had 29 points, and Jason Tatum, who had 28 points. 2 days later, on February 17th, we beat the Milwaukee Bucks in a close game, 123-120. Joel Embiid, y'all, had 42 points. Maxey, Tobias, and even Bang Bang, George Niang, had 18 points each. That was a good basketball game, and I was proud of our guys. So even though the game before I said it was the worst game ever, I felt like we got right back on track after beating the Bucks that night. And y'all, the thing with us winning and playing well is it makes me want to buy more Sixers stuff because I need to always rep my team and I need to look good doing it. I like adding new pieces to my Sixers wardrobe, and my go-to spot for Sixers gear is Fanatics. And as I perused through the Fanatics website, my inner voice was saying, Lauren, you do not need any more Sixers gear. You have enough. And y'all, it was an internal battle because my inner self was also saying, I know, but now we have James Harden. We have a legit all-star point guard and a potential league MVP in Joel Embiid. I gotta rep our squad. So I just went ahead and added a blue James Harden #1 jersey to my shopping cart. On February 23rd, a Facebook friend named Jay Fragger asked to do a podcast together. We actually met on Facebook through our Sixers connection. In anticipation of James Harden's first game, Jay and I talked about the excitement of getting Harden and what this addition meant to our Philadelphia 76ers. Jay was already a huge James Harden fan even before the trade, so he was hype, which made me more hype. Y'all, I could not wait to see James Harden in a Sixers uniform. We just had to wait 2 more days. On February 25th, I posted on Facebook, less than 12 hours till tip-off. Happy Harden Day! Sixers fans, are y'all ready? That night, we played the Minnesota Timberwolves. Joel Embiid had 34 points, 10 rebounds, and James Harden made his Sixers debut with an impressive 27 points, 12 assists, and 8 rebounds to lead us to the 133-102 win. James Harden came out in his first game in a Sixers uniform and almost had a triple-double. In a post-game interview, Harden said, quote, "I am willing to do whatever. We have one common goal. I have nothing to prove individually. As a unit, I think we have something to prove," end quote. I was like, yes, come on, James. He was saying all the things that as a fan, I wanted to hear. Number one, a common goal. Number two, willing to do whatever it takes to win. Earlier in this episode, I had mentioned Tyrese Maxey saying something very similar just a few weeks prior. And number three, individually, I have nothing to prove. Y'all, this got me really excited because even though James Harden had many NBA achievements and broke many NBA records, there was still one thing missing from his resume: a championship. He was as hungry as we were for the chance to win an NBA title. This was his chance to play with Joel Embiid, a potential league MVP. It became clear James Harden needed us as much as we needed him. This was a perfect match. James Harden also said he wanted to make sure Joel Embiid continued to play as well as he is. He says they are unselfish and wants to win. Y'all, I can't lie. When I heard these quotes, I was hype as hell. Like, seriously. I was thinking, damn it, we're going to win a freaking championship. Like, it felt good. And I was like, oh my God, this roster is going to be so much fun to watch. We now had a group of guys saying they were willing to do whatever it took to win. And I just knew that winning mentality was going to take us far. I woke up the next morning, y'all, still feeling good, on cloud nine, and I posted on Facebook, I'm going to rewatch last night's game. Yup, it was that awesome. That was great basketball. Hashtag the Harden effect. So even though I was a season ticket holder, and for the most part, I attended every single home game, y'all, I would still DVR the game. Because if the game was really good, yes, I would actually come home and rewatch the game, even though I just saw the game live at the Wells Fargo Center. I know it's weird, but y'all, that's how good those games were, that it was worth watching more than once. And what I meant by the Harden effect was I knew that we were getting more than an all-star true point guard. We were also getting a veteran player with leadership skills, and this would be important in our locker room. And that was another missing piece. We needed a leader. Tyrese Maxey was still young and wasn't ready. Joel Embiid, as talented as he was not a leader in the locker room. And not every great player is meant to be a leader, and not every leader is a great player. But we had a leader and a great player in James Harden. So I was excited with the addition of James Harden and what this could mean for our Philadelphia 76ers. It was the anticipation and excitement around watching some amazing basketball and the hope of getting to an NBA Finals. I had been dreaming, and I still dream, about that very moment. And y'all, I had the nerve to post this. If we win the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm getting my Sixers tattoo. I have a few designs in mind, nothing too big, because I don't like pain. Now, y'all, fast forward to real life, present day, at the time when I'm actually making this recording, I still do not have my Sixers tattoo. But, y'all, I will most definitely follow through on this commitment to myself when we make the Eastern Conference Finals. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And join me next time as we continue the story.